There's something really amazing about listening to a theme, like the theme from LIGHTFALL, called LIGHTFALL, knowing the context, but then also pulling back away from the context and thinking about what the feelings are when we listen to it for ourselves. Obviously, everything we listen to in music has a purpose, and it's trying to evoke some sort of emotional reaction out of us. But what happens when we listen to the theme of LIGHTFALL from the newest Destiny expansion and feel it for ourselves? Let's listen. So what I really love about this opening, sung beautifully by Laura here, is the idea that we are in a new environment. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to relate to what happens in LIGHTFALL and Neomuna and all that stuff. I'm going to pull back and think about what I feel when I listen to this music. And so right off the bat, there's this feeling of being in the clouds. There's this feeling of being like floating. And the way that that happens musically is... It's moving vocally in a way that is up and down. It's very ethereal. Of course, using a soprano here is always the typical voice. The celestial voice is very common in video game music. We're up and we're down. A lot of air in the sound. You can actually hear the breath in the sound, which causes a feeling of like real like air, right? And it's very beautiful, and it's a reflective sound quality here. Right, so obviously now we've entered into conflict. Something simple like a drum taking over. So we have this first section, first like 35 seconds, which is one way. Very ethereal, very celestial, we just talked about it. Now we have this section right off the bat. Right, which is that, obviously I understand that that's the loading screen music while we're floating. It's the final form, final life, final shape, final whatever. This is like serious stuff here. You get a little bit of like witnessy music, darkness, quality. But if we pull back away against the context, conflict, stress, worry, fear, foe. Well, and actually more specifically to Destiny, this would be the Cabal. You hear the Cabal stompy quality in it, especially with those sharp lower sounds like bass drums. Very ferocious in that way. Yeah, and there's your Cabal stomp right there. I'm stopping a lot, but that's because we all know this theme. This is not like a surprise. I've also played this game. You can check out the full playthrough here. This is all just to like talk about the music and the little details. So look at that. So look at how we've got a sort of Cabal stomp in the background. We have a little bit of a motive there, especially in the lower brass and in the drums. And then we're also diving in a little bit with that darkness and witness theme. And what's cool is that it's very subtle. And it's just like there to be like, hey, this is the main conflict here, but not in your face, because actually what's in your face is that LIGHTFALL theme. And we're thrusting that forward pretty soon, especially so that we can really have that be front and center rather than the conflict. You know what's funny is that music, it actually reminds me of the tower, the happy tower before all the bad shit happened. So it's interesting how we phase out of that serious cabal darkness music with and so I think what that does is thrust the new Neomuna and the new world and the new enthusiasm, hope, strength, confidence. We thrust that forward right away. We start from the low note, we go to a top note, and then we kind of slide down into the track. It's really cool. Okay, wow, first of all, this section, this is all about forward momentum, focus, determination, and I like that it's not a crazy fast tempo here. Bum, 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 bum. You get a little bit of like a marziale, this like sort of military quality to it, and then bum, 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 bum. That's enthusiasm, that's focus, that's drive, it's about drive, it's about power. It's about moving forward, and it's very, very visceral for me. I have this really strong, excited, I'm gonna go on a really long walk or something. Well, that sounds kind of basic, but the point is that like I'm corralled and I'm ready to go, and that's the whole intention, especially with a main theme. The main theme is supposed to sort of highlight things. If we think about a main theme as a sort of introductory piece or an overture in an opera or a symphonic work where we're sort of giving an idea to the audience what is about to happen, main themes typically work this way, and it's very effective, and especially in this, and man, I love how we're about to pick up here in a second. And so it's so cool because in the strings you have bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum, while Laura over top is singing, oh. So you combine this sort of cloudy etherealness that I think is describing Neomuna with this determined focus, and so sort of like puts us in the position of where we're going to be. Now, out of context, if we pull all the way back, that makes me feel determined and focused and proud and enthusiastic, which is a different feeling than when it was just the strings earlier and the drums. Now it's about, all right, it's weird how music, like we just add a couple layers and suddenly we actually have a different emotional experience with it. It's pretty cool. And it's kind of interesting that it pulls all the way back there at the end. In the last like 15 or 20 seconds, we have this sort of like meditative moment where we're just sort of reflecting, and we feel that in the drums, and there's just a pulling back all the way, and we're left, with the sort of open-endedness of this track. It's a great track. It's a great main theme. There's a lot of Lightfall that needs to be covered on this channel. I need to do a Lightfall music review in general. Say what you want about the gameplay and the expansion itself, but the music was very, very good in this expansion. And yes, so stay tuned. If you want to check out more, you can check out the Vow of the Disciple raid that's here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.